I spent 3 exhausting months planning my father-in-law's 70th birthday. Every invitation, every flower arrangement, every speech, every guest list, every menu, every surprise. I handled it all while balancing my own career. My husband kept telling everyone she loves doing this. But the truth was, I was doing it because I believed I was finally becoming part of the family I'd married into. The night before the celebration, I barely slept. At sunrise, I was already at the venue making sure every detail was perfect. Guests began arriving, complimenting the decorations, the music, and the elegant atmosphere. My mother-in-law smiled proudly as relatives praised the event. They thanked everyone except the one person who had built it. All. Then dinner began. I searched for my seat. There wasn't one. I quietly asked the event coordinator if there had been a mistake. He nervously whispered, "Your husband told us not to prepare a seat for you." My stomach dropped. I found my husband laughing with his sister, Callista. When I asked where I was supposed to sit, he didn't even look embarrassed. "You aren't really family," he said casually. "Dad wanted only blood relatives at the main table." Before I could answer, Callista laughed loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "Why are you upset? You're basically the help tonight." The table erupted in uncomfortable silence. My father-in-law looked away. Mother-in-law pretended not to hear. Not one person defended me. I looked around the room I had spent months creating and realized I had never truly belonged. I smiled. Not because I was okay. Because I had just made a decision that would change every one of their lives. Without raising my voice, I handed the event binder to the coordinator. "Cancel everything that's still unpaid." He stared at me. "I signed every contract," I said. "Do it." Then I walked out. Within 20 minutes, the live band packed. The luxury dessert company refused delivery. The fireworks permit was canceled. The luxury shuttle service left without picking up the VIP guests. The photographer informed them no final payment meant no. Photographs, one vendor after another, stopped their services. Panic spread through the ballroom. My phone exploded with calls. I ignored every single one. The next morning, my husband stormed into our house demanding answers. Calmly handed him divorce papers. He laughed. "You'll regret this." I simply replied, "We'll see." What he didn't know was that our marriage wasn't the only thing ending. For 7 years, I had quietly helped build his family's real estate company. I wasn't listed as an executive because they preferred keeping everything under family names. But I was the strategist behind their biggest contracts, investor relationships, marketing campaigns, and expansion plans. Clients trusted the company because they trusted me. When news of my resignation became public, the phone started ringing, not for them, for me, one by one. Investors withdrew. Developers postponed partnerships. Corporate clients asked to work directly with me instead. Within 2 weeks, 3 multi-million-dollar projects disappeared from their calendar. My husband called, screaming that I was destroying the family business. I reminded him of something he once told me. "You're not really family." Exactly. Which meant I owed them nothing. 15 days later, the bank froze funding on one of their largest developments because several investors refused to continue without my management. Their reputation collapsed almost overnight. The same relatives who watched me be humiliated suddenly began appearing at my office with flowers, apologies, and desperate requests to fix everything. Callista cried the hardest. She admitted she'd always been jealous because every success in the family eventually led back to me. My mother-in-law confessed she knew the birthday seating arrangement was cruel but stayed silent to avoid upsetting her husband. Even my father-in-law, whose birthday had started the entire disaster, asked if we could put the past behind us. I listened quietly. Then I asked one question. When they called me the help, who stood up for me? Nobody answered, because nobody had. I thanked them for their honesty and escorted them to the door. Months later, I opened my own consulting company. Many former clients followed me voluntarily. Within a year, my business was earning more than the company I'd once sacrificed everything to build. One afternoon, I received an invitation to another family celebration. This time, there was a beautifully printed seating chart. My name appeared at the head table. I smiled and dropped the invitation into the trash. Respect isn't something you suddenly discover after losing someone. It's something you either give from the beginning or spend the rest of your life wishing you had. By the time they finally realized my worth, I had already built a life where they no longer had a seat.